Welcome in to Moving the Chains, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. I'm Kevin Thomas alongside John Epps, Jerel Hendricks on the board as always. We are here for our 3A, 4A, and 5A season preview show, John. Last night we did 1A, 2A, and SCSA. A lot of fun, but man, we have some great football teams to talk about tonight.
Yeah, the big boys are tonight. A lot to talk about here. And these are, I say it all the time, 3A, 4A, those are my favorite classifications in high school football. That is where you get the perfect blend of good talent, really good football, and you still got the passion, the intensity of these programs of hometown teams. Some of the 5A schools, you don't have that. 3A, 4A, you got a lot of it.
Yeah, going to be a fun night. We're going to go through the polls just kind of as a starting point, a talking point. You know, like we said, again, they're not our polls. We just use them to give us a jumping off point, I guess, for the show tonight. But appreciate you guys tuning in as always. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter/X, Instagram, YouTube, and more at Movin Chains. Our website, movinchains.com. Actually, a new revamped website, too. If you want to check it out, go look at it there. And our podcast on all podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, Google, etc. Moving the Chains brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Be sure to get your Moving the Chains merch. Some great stuff for you guys. We've got some stickers right now, $3 stickers. Order one. It looks great on your car, your laptop, your water bottle, whatever. It gets you a Moving the Chains sticker. Get you a toboggan here, gray, black, some really high-quality stuff. This is one of my favorite items, John, to wear that some of those cold weather games. They feel really good.
I love that. I tell you, my hoodie I love that hoodie I have.
We do. We got two hoodies, a white hoodie, a gray hoodie, multiple hat options, Richardson hats here. Get one to support the boys. Love to have you repping the gear. T-shirts, we got a navy blue, a black, a gray. We got a pink for the ladies as well. All kinds of great T-shirts, all kinds of great Moving the Chains gear. We'd love to have you support us, wear our stuff, help us make this show bigger and better, and just, really grow this thing into what it can be, which I know that, this state cares about high school football, so let's get everybody in here talking and joining with us each and every week. We'll have our Week 0 preview show next Tuesday night. Be sure to put that on your calendar about 7:15. We'll go live for that one. But, Jerel, before we get going, any comments we need to throw up on the screen as we roll into our 3A, 4A, 5A show? Chris says, what's up, guys? Chris, good to have you, man. Appreciate you joining us. Kevron, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, great collegiate. We'll talk about them here in a little bit in the 4A ranks. Bradley says, great to see you ready for the big dogs, Bradley. We are here. We are excited, man. Going to be a fun night of football talk. Zach says, Woodruff will know what they have come next Friday when they open it up against the 2A defending champs. Yes, that is probably a game of the week, I'm going to go ahead and say, when we get Clinton going to Woodruff next Friday.
Clinton better be ready.
Yes, Brandon says Woodruff is a dark horse in 3A. That stud Gibson running back returns. Honestly, I don't think they're even a dark horse. I think they're one of the favorites in my book, really. But they are certainly a good team. Courtney, good to see you. Appreciate you joining here. We'll talk about BHP here in a minute as well. Is that all the comments, Jerel? Are we looking at 3A now?
Let's go to 3A, guys. I'll just jump in. But, yeah, let's go ahead and let's start talking about 3A.
Perfect. As we mentioned, not our polls, the prep media poll that came out. We're going to run through that to give us a talking point. John, let's go 10-1, read out the receiving votes, and then we'll kind of go through some of those teams and get some of our thoughts on those guys.
Yeah, starting at 10, we've got Orangeburg-Wilkinson. Talk about the Bears. They have made a big-time turnaround. They had a great year last year. They get rewarded with a top 10 ranking entering this year. I think that's pretty well-deserved. Don't know how good they'll be this year. Number 9, we got Christ Church. At 8, Newberry. 7 is Powdersville. 6, Loris. 5, Mountain View Prep. That's incredible to me at 5. 4, you have Woodruff. They get 1 first-place vote. 3rd, you have Belton Honeypath with 2 first-place votes. 2nd is Dillon. The Nasty Cats getting 2 first-place votes. And number 1, should be no surprise, Oceanside Collegiate defending state champs with 12 of those first-place votes.
And really, the 2-time defending champs, they won it in 2A 2 years ago, moved up to 3A last year, won it in 3A, and they deserve that number 1 ranking. They've got quarterback Aiden Manavian back, probably the best thrower of the football in South Carolina right now. If not number 1, he's certainly top 2, top 3, can absolutely spin it there for the Land Sharks. Receivers Terrence Johnson, Cooper Weber back, Sawyer Arnold defensive line commit for App State, is a stud on that side of the ball, along with Mike Jones. Do have a new head coach taking over. Last year, Coach Wilkes stepped away. They had the interim there for a while, and now Brent LaPrade, the LaPrade name, very familiar down there in the Low Country, he takes over as the head man of the Land Sharks. They're going to be a great football team. Dillon is a team that I feel like is always top 5, if not higher in the polls, John. They're always loaded with talent, and I think this year they may have one of their better groups. They've got a big-time quarterback, Kale Sam Fontalia, stepping in, lit it up last year at the JV level as just an 8th grader, really big frame, big kid. Obviously, when you got a young quarterback like that, you're worried about him early on in the season, but I think as the season progresses, he'll be a big-time factor for the Wildcats. You got Damo Felton back, Daniel Capehart back, had 120 tackles last year. Kerryon Brown at linebacker had 158 tackles last year. Hadn't even mentioned Zay Robertson, the UNC commit yet. Big-time receiver, looks really good, really athletic out there, really smooth catching the football, man. Those top 2 teams, John, to me, are absolutely loaded this year.
And and remind me, correct me if I'm wrong, it was Capehart in the playoff game we saw last year step in after the injury.
Yes,
and came in and did a marvelous job for Dillon to help them win that game. And that's a testament to a good program. You have your star go down, you have the next guy step up, and I'm not going to say you didn't miss a beat, but they take care of the football. They do enough to win the game, and that's a big deal. I think Dillon's got a very, very good mix of seniority, some good experience, and some really good talent, notably the young talent at the quarterback position. And it's a good coaching staff. They're going to figure out how to make that work just right. They're going to be a very good team this year.
Number 3, you mentioned BHP, last year's upper state champs, losers in the final, Oceanside Collegiate. A team that I'm not really sure what to make of them yet. Obviously they lose a generational talent like Marquez Henderson, the explosive running back. You do have the quarterback Noah Thomas back. You got wide receiver Tajay Watson-Martin back. Defensively, Jakari Anderson, KJ Miles are all back. So got some names some players but who is going to take the load of those yards that are gone now, those touchdowns that are gone? Who's going to pick those up? Going to have to be a committee because I don't think one guy can do what Henderson did for sure. A team we mentioned already, Woodruff at number 4. Running back Aiden Gibson, one of the most impressive-looking players you'll see across the state. Big kid, physical, fast. Everything looks good about him. Tight end Cam Taylor, a Liberty commit. He's a monster in the middle there. You got Corey Moats, electric on the outside. Defensively, Sean Graybill at the linebacker spot's a great player. They are breaking in a new quarterback, Connor Davis. We'll see how that goes. They had a guy last year, played a lot of football, had a senior leader back there at quarterback, really played some smart football, got them in the right plays, made the right decisions. Replacing him is going to be tough, but they got weapons all around Davis. And then number 5, Mountain View Prep, year 2 for them. I talked to Coach Ramsey a few weeks back. He's like, we feel much more prepared this year. We actually got to have a spring practice. Actually got to have some 7-on-7 stuff because last year their school wasn't even open really in time to do that stuff. So now they've got a better feel for their talent. Receiver Katie Hainsworth back. Big-time talent out wide. You got Jacoby Smith stepping in at running back. Obviously, this team would have been light years better if you had Jalen McGill back there, but instead he reclasses, goes to North Carolina. Still got a lot of talent there. A.J. McAllister might fill into that quarterback spot. If not, he's going to be on the field somewhere. Defensively, you got C.J. Lovelace, guys like that. The Stars, I think, John, they had a deep run last year. You saw them in that upper state title game. I think they got a good chance to make a deep run again this year.
Yeah, and Mountain View is a team, they've got talent all over the field. They don't have just one guy that's really good. They had McGill last year and he was really good, but they have talent, on the defense side of the ball. They had guys that can make plays. Hainsworth on the outside is a really good player, made some big time plays in that Woodruff game that we saw. If he doesn't make that one-handed catch, they might not win that game. They've got a lot of talent. They've got a great coaching staff on that sideline. Mountain View is a team that you can't call them a dark horse, but they are, to me, I think 5 is low for them. I think they should be, I would put them in my top 3.
The rest of the top 10, you got Loris, a team that I was super high on the last couple of years. They bring back a ton of talent. They bring back the quarterback, Moon Gerald. Jacoby and Lewis is back out wide. All the running backs are back with Percha and Sherman. Just name after name, Demaria Thurman back on the defensive line. Really athletic again. They're in for a deep run. Powdersville, a team that kind of came out of nowhere late in the year last year, got really hot behind quarterback Kagan Reed. He did a fantastic job. He's back for year 2 as a starter. Weapon Tavius Williams playing receiver and DB for them. You got Jaden Wirtz as well for Coach Mustard's bunch. They're going to be a young group in some places, but they've got some experience as well to help them have a good season. A really intriguing team to me, John, that we saw in the playoffs last year lose to that Dillon bunch was Newberry, a team that's got a lot of talent back. You got quarterback Kenton Caldwell, Jamel Howes, the big South Carolina commit. He's back at that tight end receiver spot. You get a couple transfers. You got Jameer Cooks coming in. They've got a lot of explosiveness there. Can they put it all together is going to be the question. I think they've got enough talent to make a deep run in 3A.
And, I'd like to see Hal be more involved on the offensive side of the ball. In that Dillon game, he didn't seem to be as involved as you would expect that caliber of talent to be. And, they scored 28 points against a really good Dillon team.
Mm-hmm.
Dillon won that game. Let's be frank. Dillon won that game. Newberry did not lose it. But I like to see Hal, if he has a bigger presence in the offensive game plan this year. I think you can do a lot of things with him, even if you're not getting him the ball. He's going to take up a lot of attention from the defense and can free up other guys, free up other parts of the football field. Newberry is working with a lot of assets on their side of the football offensively this year. I expect the Bulldogs to be really good this year too.
The 9-spot Christ Church, a team that in their first year up in 3A last year didn't have the season they wanted. I think they're built for a big season this year, John. You got Jude Hall back, the Memphis commit out wide. He's a stud. You get Ant Atkins on the back end of the defense, locking teams down there. You get Rody Burnett up front, just picking up some D1 offers lately. Judd Wyndham moves to quarterback. You got running back Michael Martin, who had a big freshman campaign, returned 6 offensive starters, 8 defensive starters. I think Coach Hatfield's bunch is built to make some noise this year. And at the 10 spot, Orangeburg Wilkinson, a team that has really been on the rise, it feels like, under Coach Chris Carter. Recently, linebacker Jordan Avenger committed to Arkansas. He's a big piece of that defense, of course, there. You got Dalen Haltwanger coming in. He's a receiver transfer out of Hammond. Defensively, you got Jalen Dash, Chris Glover, along with Avenger. That bunch of the Bears, I think they're going to play some really good defense. Can they score enough points to make noise? I think is going to be the question for them.
Yeah, they had a great season last year. Made it to the second round of the playoffs. OW's done a great job. Mm-hmm. Last year was, if you told me, hey, Orangeburg Wilkinson, they're going to be in the second round of the playoffs. When I was in high school, I go, you're crazy. Not a football school. They don't do that. They made great strides. I don't know if they're deserving of the top 10 ranking. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they're the 10th best team in the state this year, but they've definitely built some credibility and they've definitely earned where they're at right now.
At the rest of 3A, John, who are a couple teams you like to shout out? I've got a few guys on my list, but I'll let you go first about some teams that maybe didn't make the top 10 that you want to make sure we mention here tonight on the program.
I always think about Chapman.
Mm-hmm.
I think Chapman is a team, and I'm not saying they should be in the top 10, but Chapman is a team that you've always they're a program.
Yeah.
It's not who do they have this year, who do they not have. They're going to have guys. They're going to have players, and I think Chapman, they're a team you can't look past them. No matter who you are, Chapman's going to be a team that you have to be ready for. And especially, I've been to a couple Chapman games. That's a great environment.
Yeah.
And you got to be ready to go when you go up there and play up in Inman. They've got a really good program, really good support. Chapman's a team. Don't forget about them.
Yeah, and they were really young last year. Had a bunch of injuries, bunch of young guys had to play. All those guys are back. I talked to Coach Cabinets, Bryson Calter back at quarterback. You got Josiah Copeland defensively. You got Kamari Turner, David Moorman, Tegan Cantrell. A lot of weapons that have played a lot of football for them. I think they're in for a much improved season from last year for sure. A couple other teams I like, and I'm going to say this, like looking at this 3A ranking, and you guys, I don't know if you feel the same, but I feel like 3A is really deep this year. Like, I like a lot of these teams in the top 10. I've got another 4 or 5 I like outside of the top 10. They could contend for kind of that back end of that ranking there. A team like Keenan, big year last year, really good offense. They lost a couple pieces with the McNeil guys, but Hunter O'Neill is back, 1,100 plus yards last year. Coach Jarrett Neely, now the official head coach. I think the Raiders can be for a big season. A sneaky team for me, John, that I feel like we hardly ever talk about, Walkmall, the Warriors under
Yeah.
Andre Johnson. They got a brother duo, quarterback Andre Great at quarterback, running back Adrian Great at running back. Two really good pieces up front. They return a lot. I think Walkmall is a sneaky team kind of down in that side of the state as well.
I think so too. Walkmall, they had a really good back half of the season last year, and a Swansea team I was pretty high on.
Mm-hmm.
They smoked them in the first round of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And then second round, they played Oceanside. They get beat. Well, so did everybody.
Who didn't?
So, you can't really blame them on that one. But yeah, Walkmall is a team. And again, like you said, people don't think about Walkmall. They're a tough group. I think they're another team, especially in the Grand Strand region, to keep an eye on this year too.
What do you think about the Ainer Blue Jackets? Coach Jason Allen, we know their MO for years has been really just clog the middle there, really run it hard. They're going to more of a flex bone system this year, and that kind of allows them to get some more athletes on the field. I know they've got a couple kids come out from the basketball team to join them. They're actually going to move last year's quarterback Luke McCracken to running back. Alex Lewis is going to play quarterback there defensively. Connor Rabin and Blaze Hucks lead that group. Going to be fun to see them not really air it out, because they're not throwing it, but at least spread it out a little bit, get a little more speed on the field there for Coach Allen's bunch.
It's crazy to say that. Say, hey, this is the offense Ainer's going to run. They're spreading it out this year. But,
run the flex ball. Let's go.
Yeah, it's true. And I tell you what, I think that's pretty scary, because you look at, and Ainer had a little bit of a down year last year, and they're a good program too. They've had a lot of success last 5 years. And for them to say, you know what, let's do something a little bit different so we can get more playmakers involved. I think that's a little scary for everybody that is on the Ainer schedule, because this coaching staff, they've proven they know what works with the personnel that they have. And if they feel confident in making this change, I think that raises some eyebrows going, I think a lot of it is, I think they're pretty confident in the speed that they've got on that side of the football. And that's going to be fun to watch, to see how good they are. And, the Turtle offense caught people by surprise. Let's see how the Ainer version of the flex bone works this year. I'm excited.
I am too, and that's always a fun group to follow. They always put up some big numbers, so fun to see what they can do now with this flex bone offense. We mentioned one of the private schools earlier in Christchurch. I want to mention a second one, and that's Southside Christian, another group that struggled with that move from 1A to 3A. But they brought in a new head coach, Jonathan Guess. Jerel and I got to talk to him, a 7-time state title winner in Georgia. The guy knows how to coach. I don't know if it's this year where they make a deep run, but I think he'll have that program turned around sooner rather than later. You got quarterback Jack Criswell back, Christian Kaiser back running the football, Keldon Rona, DJ Lee out wide. And defensively, they do bring 6 starters back on defense. We'll see. I don't think they're state title contenders this year, but I do expect an increase in production from this group and from Christchurch as well this season.
And I would be interested. I think it's a good question for the players, a good question for the kids, playing in 1A and then making that step up to 3A, what that difference was, how that took an effect. I'm sure it was had to be a little bit of a shock factor.
Yeah.
And for the kids that are returning this year, you got to think they've got, okay, now I know what to expect. This is a different type of game than what we had played previously. I think Southside will be improved. I think all of those schools, Christchurch, St. Joseph's as well. I think they've got that. They've already got the gut punch under their belt now from last year, and they'll be more ready this year.
Yeah, a couple players I want to shout out right quick before we move on. Amiri Acker, receiver at Crescent, is a Liberty commit. He's a big-time threat there for the Tigers. And then Taekwon Booker at Broome, a guy that rushed for 1,000 yards last year, moving to receiver this year. Interesting to see what they're going to do there for Coach Fleming's bunch. They're going to move
He's a big kid.
Yeah, so Booker's going
impressive guy. He's a big
Booker's
kid.
going running back to receiver. Reese Walgerman's going receiver to running back. So we'll see how that change works out there for the Centurions. But Jerel, John, anybody else you guys want to shout out in 3A or any comments we need to go through before we make some predictions here on that classification?
We'll filter through comments, guys. I'll keep my stuff brief. I'll just tell you what I got to say when we get there. So let's filter through those. Bear with me. Internet's lagging a little bit, so we'll go through as many. And we got a lot of interest in 3A, but I do want to say, like John mentioned, man, 3A football is one of my favorite classifications as well. That last realignment really gutted 3A, and I really hope they do right by that class next time they do this next year. So let's go through those comments, guys.
Perfect. But Courtney said, look good this year. Defense is so nasty. Yeah, and I agree with you. I think talking about BHP there, I think the defense is going to really lead that group, especially early on, until they figure out the right mix and match for BHP on offense. Chris says MVP may not be the same as last year. Certainly we'll see. I think the running back filling in, Jacoby Smith, is really talented there. We'll see what they can put together.
McGill was really, really, really good. But I think they got so much talent around. I think they'll be okay.
I think there's a lot to be said too for them having another year of prep, like actually being, a second, a full school for a second year. Get some more extra work. I think is big for them. Kelly says, who do we predict for best teams now? I mean, it's hard not to go Oceanside, the number one team in the poll. I mean, they seem to be head and shoulders, maybe not head and shoulders. Let me take that back.
I won't.
John will, I think Oceanside's the best. I think they're the favorite right now to win state.
The most important position on the field, they got the best guy in the state.
That's probably true. Ethan says, let's go Woodruff. The Wolverines for Coach Sloan are going to play some good football this year. They're going to be a fun team to follow. Zach says Newberry tested early versus Clinton. Always a fun game there. Coach Jeter and Coach Fountain do a great job. You see a lot of athletes on the field in that one. Going to be a great football game. Brandon likes Newberry too. 8 could be a little bit too low.
I agree.
They've got the talent to be a top 5 team, no doubt about it.
They got to go out and earn it, though. I think they can.
Zach says, was Lawrence in the top 10? Yes, they were number 6.
Yes,
number 6 in 3A. Keenan was good last year, beat Chester, made it the third round of the playoffs. They did have a nice little playoff run. Yeah, they made some good noise for Coach Neely. Williston Elko. It's tough to say now, Allie. They had some nice wins last year. I haven't heard too much about the Blue Devils yet, so I'm not really sure what to think. We'll know more as we get into week 0, week 1. But, of course, you can always go back and watch last night's show. It's still on Facebook and YouTube. See us talk through the 1A ranks. Peyton says Newberry is still a legit contender. Many returners, great running back. O-line is solid and secondary is quick. Will be a threat to win it all. I think that's what Coach Jeter has been kind of trending towards. We had him on when he first got hired, I guess maybe 4 years ago now. He's like, we're really young, got to establish our culture, get our guys in the program. I feel like they've been building up to that. Last year had a good run there, lost to a tough Dillon team, by I think a score.
They could have won the game.
Yeah, could have won the game. A lot of those pieces are back. Excited for the Bulldogs this year. Tor says, love to see the BHP out in the background. Yeah, we got it. We got it right here. Tajay Watson-Martin. He's going to be a stud for them. He certainly be one of the key playmakers on offense for that group. He was electric last year. We'll probably see even more touches this year. Let's go Woodruff. Yes, the Wolverines are going to be a fun bunch to follow as well.
And we got to give a shout out to our BHP equipment manager for hooking us up for the helmet.
That's right. Appreciate you, my guy, for helping us out. Tank says Marlboro is underrated. A team I had on my list somewhere. I don't know where I put them. I had them somewhere written down.
Oh, no, they're back page.
a really good defensive line. Yeah, let me pull my notes up here because I thought I had it written down. I guess I don't. Yeah, so D-line's really good. You got Jaden Ash. You got Caden Walton and P.J. Williams. I believe all 3 have East Carolina offers, I think, right now. And they're a team that runs a lot of odd man, 3-man front. So you got all your starters going to college. That's pretty impressive up front for a 3A school. Offensively, hadn't heard much about them. I know they got quarterback Trey Blakeney stepping in there. Interesting to see what Coach Johnson and the Bulldogs can do in year 2, but they will certainly be a threat in that PD area. Do we mention Powdersville? Yeah, they come in number 7 on the poll. Coach Mustard's bunch had a nice run, lost to BHP in the playoffs. I think they're back for a good season this year, Bradley, as well.
Yeah, I think the Patriots are going to be tough this year.
That's
before
it.
we get our picks right quick, John, did we run through the receiving votes as well?
We have not. I can
Let's
run through that
right quick. Yeah, in case we didn't mention anybody else.
It's a shorter list than what we had last night. So, and I think these are in order. So I'm going to go in order. Marlboro County, Swansea, Keenan, Broome, Chapman, Ainer, Walkamaw, Crescent, and St. Joseph's receiving votes.
A good list there. A good list.
Yeah. I think some of these I like more than others. I know we talked about Walkmaw and Ainer. I think Ainer is one that's going to bounce back a little bit this year. Walkmaw, I feel like, is a little underrated, and it's hard to the whole Marlboro County situation last year. That was a tough situation for everybody. I get that, but it's hard to think they're not going to be really good this year.
I agree. I mean, they've still got talent there. That area has always had talent, and I think they're ready for a nice run. Obviously, that region is going to be a murderer's row with Dillon, Marlboro County, Loris. Walkmaw is in there as well, along with Ainer, correct, John? Isn't that the 5, or at least 5 of the 6?
I believe so. I mean, that is
Ainer, Dillon, Georgetown, Loris, Marlboro County, Walkmaw. That's not an easy region at all.
Yeah, you got to feel bad for Georgetown in that one. That's a tough. You talk about some of the toughest regions in the state. That's right there that's up there.
Yeah, that's a probably the toughest 3A region. I would say right now. But yeah, Jerel, hop in here. Let's make some picks. Give your thoughts on 3A. I know John and I mentioned a lot of teams. Didn't get to everybody, but anybody else you want to shout out, or just teams in particular you want to mention that we've already talked about maybe?
Look, guys, y'all know I'm long-winded. We're on pace for a 3-hour show tonight, so I'll keep it brief. I mean, we'll just jump into these predictions. But again, I love 3A. I think it's going to be really, really competitive. Like a lot of classes, I really do. I think I'm going to go side with John. I think Oceanside is the clear favorite. Like, they're just so good, especially with Aiden there, 3-year starter. So if everybody stays healthy, I think they're the clear favorite to win. But it should be really, really competitive and a lot of fun to watch.
Who do you like in the upper state? I know you like Oceanside from the lower state. Who do you like upper state?
I'm gonna go if we're going to go to predictions. I'm gonna go Woodruff, man. I fell in love with that team last year. Obviously, I think TJ Morris, small in stature, but that's gonna be huge for them to replace. But as been mentioned in the comments there, I mean, you have Aiden Gibson coming back, Corey Moats, just dynamic playmakers, the big tight end there. I mean, I think the biggest step in building that program for Coach Sloan is like getting the kids to believe. And after last year, all of those, they won every kind of way. I think they believe and they're ready to take that next step. So I'm gonna have them playing Oceanside for it all.
John, who do you like in 3A?
You could just replay what Jerel said. I love Woodruff. I think Oceanside is, and I'm going to say, their heads and shoulders better. They've got, when it comes to 3A, they got the best player in the state, and he's the quarterback. He's got it all. He's got the attitude. He's got the talent. He's got the confidence. He's got it all. And when you look at upper state, I think it's Woodruff. I think Powdersville is going to be right there with them. I think it's going to come down to between Woodruff and Powdersville. I like Woodruff. I think they got the talent. And like Jerel said, I don't know if they believed in themselves at the start of last year, but they certainly do now.
Yeah. Do y'all agree with my assessment? I feel like 3A feels like it's got a lot of depth this year. A lot of teams that can be top 10 level teams, it feels like to me. I mean, I had 4 or 5 written down outside of the top 10 that I would not have been upset if they were in like the 5 through 10 spots, honestly.
Yeah. I think 2 through 15 is very fluid. Like, I think there's some really, really good teams that are really depth. Like, I just think Oceanside's a lot better. And I think both sides is going to be competitive all the way through.
I think the top 5 is really tight. I think after that, I think there's some distance.
Mm-hmm. So for my pick, I'm going to go Oceanside out of the lower state. Fun. I know we're all going the same way.
Yeah, right.
Upper state is where I have a little more trouble. I like Woodruff. I like MVP. I don't know what to think about BHP yet. Honestly, I don't know what to think. That's a lot to replace with Henderson. They're always a solid program. They're not going to be bad by any means. I just don't know how good they're going to be. I'm going to go off the radar a little bit here. Let me get Christchurch in the upper state.
Wow.
I think the Cavaliers
okay.
have some pieces back. I think last year kind of pissed them off. A team that had won back-to-back state titles at 1A, go to 3A, have not a year up to their standards. Some pieces are back. I know you got to replace the quarterback. You got to replace Tucker Hendricks. Jackson Rep has moved on, but you got some names with Jude Hall and Ant Atkins. Some players stepping in. I think could be some big time.
That running back's a stud too. There,
Michael Martin's back. I think he's just a sophomore.
Yeah,
I think Christchurch could make some noise in the upper state. But man, a lot of football we played. We'll see how it all shakes out. Before we move on to 3, there is one team that we have not mentioned and it's pretty crazy to think this because of what their track record is, John, and Jerel too. The Silver Bluff Bulldogs, a team that, just was not there last year, not competitive in a lot of football games. Can they turn it around under year two of Matt Hayes? I don't know. A program that has historically been really good. They're kind of in that. There we go, Cody. Yeah, I'm interested to see. I think they've always got talent. They always do. Can they put it together this year? We'll see. That region, Newberry, Silver Bluff, Swansea, Keenan, Fox Creek, has gotten a lot better. Last couple of years, Swansea's gotten a lot better. I feel like Keenan's gotten a lot better. Newberry's gotten a lot better. So not going to be easy for the Bulldogs, but I expect them to be better than last year, I would say.
I don't know what's going to be different. They got to do something different. And maybe they do. I just don't know what that's going to be.
Yeah. Last shout out for 3A. Upstate's going to the Big Bears, says Courtney. Okay. Watch out for Union County, much improved. Yeah, Coach Isom, year two there. He's got some really good pieces. The defensive lineman there, Jalen, I cannot find his last name. Jalen Davis, I believe it is. He's a monster up front for them. Fox Creek Fox Creek got a lot of pieces coming in from the transfer portal. They're expected to be improved this year as well. That region 4 should be fun. Bradley's taking Mountain View Prep for the Upstate.
Good pick.
Anybody else, Jerel?
Again, we're gonna be here for a while if we keep going. So let's go to 4A. I know we got a lot of people in the comments chomping at the bit to get to 4A. So let's go ahead and head that way.
Perfect. Before we go to 4A, though, let's talk to some friends of the program. Also, Jerel, shout out to our friends at Hanahan, our boys down there. They've got a hard-nosed bunch. We'll see how good they are this year. They got to find a few playmakers, but they're always coached well, always play tough down there.
Hey, if you're in that area, go to Wiley Night, man. That was one of my favorite trips that I made last year. It happened last minute. Couldn't have been a better environment. Saw kind of a breakout for a different team while I was there. But those folks, they do it right. Great concessions, great people. If you're in that Charleston area, good. It was a great turnout too. It was bad weather, but still fans turned out. So that's a good venue, and some really great people on that staff as well.
No doubt. Well, let's shout out to friends of the program, and then we'll look at the 4A ranks.
Founders Federal Credit Union means banking made for you. The on the go, the pick up and go, and the I want to go. Because at Founders, we give you the financial tools that make every dollar work for you. For the little things to the big things. For your future and your peace of mind. We'll always stay grounded in our roots, but reaching beyond what you'd expect is where we'll always go. Find out what our members already know and enjoy a new way to bank. Relax, you're with Founders.
The George Agency has been serving the insurance needs of South Carolina for over 40 years. They're a full-line insurance agency concentrated in employee benefits and health insurance with an office in Mullins and Murrells Inlet, but they can help you all across the state. They have clients in Greer, Rock Hill, Columbia, and more, so wherever you are, they can help. Give Bradley, Wayne, Richard, and the crew a call or check them out online at thegeorgeagency.net. That's thegeorgeagency.net. Let's take a look at 4A now, John. Once again, guys, the SC Prep poll, not our poll. We're just using it kind of as a jumping off point. Let's go through 4A 10 through 1. Maybe shout out the receiving votes as well. Then we'll kind of go through some of those teams here in this classification.
Yeah, how about I'll go through the receiving votes first.
Perfect.
How about we do that, and then we'll jump into the top 10. So outside the top 10, we've got Seneca, Greer, Wren, Bluffton, May River, Hilton Head, Midland Valley, Gilbert, Brooklyn, Casey, and Fountain Inn. How about Fountain Inn getting a vote? And then the actual top 10 at 10, we've got Gray, 9, Bishop England, 8 is Camden, 7, AC Floor, 6, Daniel, 5 is North Augusta, 4, Hartsville, 3, West Side, getting 1 first place vote. Second is South Florence, getting 6 first place votes, and number 1, South Point, getting 10 of those first place votes.
John, the South Point Stallions are absolutely loaded this year. They have so much talent coming back for Coach Bobby Collins. You got quarterback Cam McMillan, has been a starter. This will be his 4th year as a starter in high school football. Has got huge numbers throughout his career. You get Zymir Gordon-Miles, comes over from Northwestern, a 2-year starter for that Trojans program. You get Caden Watkins and KJ Berg out wide along with Dalen Duncan. You get R.J. Brown coming in from Lancaster. Malik Ratliff is there. Jazavian Currents, the number 1 player in the state by, I think, Rivals and On3 and all those guys. He's a South Carolina commit. plays all over the field. You got Anthony Baxter up front, another South Carolina commit. Linebacker Bryson Ginn is a stud. Defensive lineman Seth Tillman is a stud. I mean, they have talent all over the field for Coach Collins. That South Point team is going to be a tough out for anyone this year, John.
Yeah, they are impressive. What I saw them do at Daniel last year was incredible. They ran all over the Lions. Did not expect that. They're a really good team. I know how good Westside was. I know South Florence won the state championship. I think they're deserving of number one. I don't hate where they are.
I was going to say, John, flipping back to last night's show and tonight's show, they are the only team that didn't win the state title last year that is number one in their class, I believe, this year. So,
yeah,
interesting there. Chris says they'll be a different beast. Yeah, new OC there for sure. We'll see how that shakes out. Coach Van Horn goes over to Gaffney from South Point. Number 2, South Florence. They're a program now. We expect them to be there year in, year out. Terry Gordon, Willie Kennedy on defense. You got Messiah Jackson at the quarterback spot. Last year's defending state champ had a huge game there. Samaj Parker is a name to watch for them. Coach Marlowe's bunch, we know they're going to be physical on defense. They're going to be physical on offense, cause a lot of turnovers. They'll be there at the end. Number 3, Westside, a different Westside this year. You still got a Woods playing quarterback, but a different one. You got Bear Woods, Cutter's younger brother, stepping in there, just a 9th grader, a lefty, throws a really nice ball. See how much he can pick up and how much going to the varsity level, what that transition is like for him. You got Keelan Powell at running back, receiver Zion Paul, offensive lineman A.J. Suttles, defensively led by Jax Wilson, and Christian Webb Scott, a transfer from Georgia, absolute freak up front for them. Coach Lane's bunch will be fun. It's just we don't know who some of the guys are going to be yet for them, John. A lot of offense to be made up with Sherrod Richardson moving on. You got Beaumont moving on. You got Weaver moving on. A lot of new pieces to step up and fill some of those big play roles there for them.
Yeah, I think out of the big time programs last year, it feels like Westside has to replace more than anybody.
Mm-hmm. For sure, at least on the offensive front, no doubt about it. Hartsville, always a fun team. They're at number 4. Coach Calabrese with that kind of funky offense they do is tough for anyone. They lost a lot, but they do get Kyle F. Miller back. Tristan Spann is back. Trace Hillion's a player to watch. North Augusta, you bring out Michael Doe, 1,800-plus yards, 32 touchdowns last year. Malcolm Gaston, the big-time O-lineman, is back for them. Quarterback Colin Tillman steps in. Defensive lineman Davian McKinnis, Simeon Jones are all playmakers for them. Coach Bush's bunch is going to be one of the favorites down there in that region, you feel like. An interesting team here at 6, Daniel. New head coach Chris Stone comes in. You get a quarterback transfer, Jace Grass from Pendleton, a kid that's played a lot of football for them. You get Trey Wembley out wide. PJ Chancellor, the Clemson commit, playing both ways for them. Always a fun program to watch. How good will they be this year? We shall see. Number 7, a little bit of a surprise for me with AC Flora. I know you got Roper Winsky, the quarterback back. You got receiver Blake Batet coming over from RNE. You get Kendall Bird already there. A fun team there, John. Anybody 4 through 7 you want to mention there? I just shouted out.
Yeah, I think Hartsville's built to be. They've got, and I hate to use the word, they run a system, because that takes away from the talent, and that's not appropriate for this program. Kyle F. Miller is awesome.
Electric.
I saw that guy against Camden last year. He's awesome. I think Hartsville is a team. I'm not going to say they're underrated or overrated, but South Point, South Florence, and Westside get a lot of the hype. Hartsville deserves a lot of the hype. I think they're going to be really good. I don't know that people are going to be. I think once the season starts, people will remember, oh yeah, wow, Hartsville's good every year. I don't know preseason. People are thinking about them like they should.
The rest of the top 10, Camden. You got Dontrell Wilkes, the defensive lineman there. Quarterback Grayson Remp coming in. One of my favorite players in the state, Tylen Drakeford, an absolute just athlete on offense, running the ball, catching the ball. He's a big-time playmaker for Coach Remp there. Number 9, the story of the year last year, it felt like Bishop England. It kind of came out of nowhere. Quarterback Quinn Mahoney is back, 33 touchdowns. Zachary Baylog is back. I think they're actually better than last year from what I hear for Coach Hall in year 2 there. And the number 10, Gray Collegiate, a team that had some weird stuff go down at the end of the year, couldn't play in the playoffs. Quarterback Tyler Waller's back. Trayvon Williamson comes over from Gilbert. He's an electric running back there. Receiver Hazari Gant is still there. Linebacker Michael Bullware. Everybody knows the Bullware name, 100-plus tackles 2 years in a row. That's the last team in the top 10, John. Any of those guys you want to shout out, or who are some teams that didn't make the top 10 that you want us to talk about as well?
Yeah, I think Gray at 10 is interesting because the politics around the program is, incredible. But you look past that, they got talent. Man, they got a lot of players. And I'll tell you right now, there's not 9 teams in the state better than those guys. If they can get the politics part worked out and be there in the playoffs, they're going to be trouble for everybody. I think Gray is in this poll, I think 10 sells them a little bit short.
Yeah, I've got a handful of sleeper teams that I like that weren't in the top 10. One of them is that team you mentioned, Fountain Inn. Quarterback Sam Holliday, he's just a junior, going to be his third year starting for them. He's a big-time playmaker for Coach Nichols there. You got Colby Flood out wide playing DB as well. Jacob Cawthon up front. They returned 93% of their offensive production, John. This is still a very young program. I think this is only their maybe second graduating class they'll have this year. A team that made the playoffs last year, I think went from no wins in year 1, 3 to year 2, 6 wins last year. So they're really taking nice steps there for Coach Nichols. And they could have won a playoff game. Had a couple bad breaks in that Greer game. I think the Fury are ready for the next step. And then another team that has been a good team in the past, Wren. I think Coach Freight's bunch is built for a nice run this year. You got to replace Bagwell, got to replace Price in the backfield. But they got some young kids to step up. Their defense should be really good. I like that side of the ball a lot. I like Carson Bryan out wide. I think Wren's built for a nice run this year too.
And I'll mention a team that doesn't get any love is Hilton Head.
Yeah.
I think they had a great year last year.
Mm-hmm.
If they were in the top 10, I wouldn't bat an eye.
Yeah.
That's a team. They got knocked out in the second round by South Florence, but they're a really good team. They beat a really good Crestwood team in that first round.
Yeah.
Crestwood is a team I'm surprised is nowhere to be found in this poll either. Because Crestwood, I believe they did lose a lot, but they are a dangerous group.
I've heard a lot of good things about Crestwood. A lot of guys in the coaching circles have said that's a team to look out for. You get Deshaun Screven back, Jaden Martin's back. Coach Nelson's bunch is going to be a team to watch, I think, in 4A. You mentioned Hilton Head. I'm glad you did, because that whole area down there, that whole region, Region 6, Buford, I think, is poised for a nicer bounce-back season this year. Bluffton, quarterback Aiden McCarthy, 3,100-plus yards, 36 touchdowns last week. They got tons of great receivers. Carnell Warren, a UNC commit out wide, along with Amari Patterson. And then May River as well, a team that moved from the spread to the slot T offense last year and won 9 games. I think it should be even better this year at that offense, kind of figuring that out. I know that Jerel loves that part of the state too. That region could be a lot of fun with Bishop England in there with them as well. A couple of teams I wanted to shout out. Wilson, I think they're going to be better this year. Actually, I'm not sure why I'm talking about Wilson because they're in 5A. I don't know why they're on this list. But anyway, we'll get to them later. Actually, no, they are in 4A. Yeah. Wilson.
Yeah, there's no way they're 5A.
Yeah, sorry. Wilson under Coach Brian Wilson should be better, I think, this year. I like the defensive line a lot. I think he's going to bring a lot of good stuff to that program. Midland Valley is intriguing to me. Brent Dorn, the official head coach now. Quarterback Xavier Jeter, you mentioned him there, Dominique. Yep, he's a big-time player for them. I really like the tight end, Cam Gleaton. Aaron Adams, the defensive line, is a big-time player there. I think the Mustangs should have a bounce-back season as well. They weren't bad last year by any means. They could be even better this season. Anybody else you want to shout out, John or Jerel, or any comments we need to go through right quick on 4A?
Let's see the comments.
Yeah.
You want to go through comments?
No, you talk to us. Who do you like, Jerel?
Man, I like everybody, man. I was just going through the top 10, man. South Point, obviously, I got caught up drinking the Kool-Aid last year, and Westside put them on them in that upper state game, but South Point.
Hey, I'm to blame on that, too. I talked them up after that Daniel game.
No, it wasn't. We saw them play Camden at home, and they scored 60 points and a half. So that was me as well. I mean, I'm really interested to see South Florence, man. I feel like that's like the program, I feel like right now. I mean, they just continue to churn out talent, and they just do a great job. Westside, another one, like 1A and 1B, I feel like the programs right now, what Coach Lane has done is impressive. I remember, we were talking to Coach Robinson there, the great quarterback coach for all the guys in state, the trainer here. I mean, he was talking about Bear, at that weekend of champions, about how good he was going to be. So I'm excited to see how he fills in for his big brother and his progression over the season. Definitely going to be a learning curve, jumping as the starter, but he's very, very talented. Hartsville, again, that system. I'm surprised Kevin didn't talk more about North Augusta. that's one of his squads that he thinks is going to be really impressive this year.
I think Michael Doe is one of the best backs in the state. I mean, I'm super excited to see what he does. He's played a lot of football. I mentioned, I think 32 touchdowns last year. I mean, I think they've got potential to be a really good team in 4A.
And the last one I'll talk about, man, Daniel. I'm just excited to see like what that story is going to be. Like, is it going to be very good, like a redemption type thing with all the things that have gone on?
Is it going to be a rallying cry? Right.
Yes. Is it going to rally? Or are they going to, kind of fold? Because that's a program that is very, very proud. So how's that going to go? But it's going to be very intriguing. 4A football is a lot of fun to keep up with as well. I'm going to throw some comments in here and we'll keep talking.
Perfect. While you're doing that, I want to shout out Pickens, Coach Reynolds over there. Got to talk to his guys, Brooks Dow, the quarterback, Isaac Fuller, Garrett Adcox, David Bolden a couple weeks back. They are, building a nice program there as well. The Blue Flame are. They've been on the up and up. Wanted to certainly shout them out. And then Gilbert too, John, a team that has had some really good success last couple of years. Year 2 under Ozzie Exume. When Meets is back, see what they have there. Be a fun group to follow. Trez says he's taking Gray to win the region. Gilbert bounces back. Yeah, I think Gray is one of the favorites. I'd probably say Gray and North Augusta are the 2 favorites there in that one. And then Gilbert is certainly a sleeper along with, Midland Valley and probably other sleeper there. South Point Dangerous says Bradley. I agree. They have a lot of talent. So many guys getting offers already. Just can they kind of get over that hump is going to be the question. Brandon says Clinton plays Great Collegiate Friday in the Jamboree. Certainly a good test. Interested to see, how both those teams fare. Obviously, it's to Jamboree. You don't want to take too much from it, but certainly fun to see. Coach Dingle, the OC at South Point. Thank you, Ron. Appreciate you shouting us out there and getting us right on that. Daniel comes to Wilder in week 4 or 5.
That'll be a big one.
Clinton plays a tough non-region schedule. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting matchup there, too, to see how good both those teams are. And I love teams that do that because there's no point in, having cupcakes in the non-region. Might as well play some tough.
That's going to be one of Daniel's tougher games. One of their tough.
Sure. Steven says Westside will be younger. A lot of young talent making another run come playoff time. Yeah, I agree. I think, it's going to some growing pains early on, figuring out who's going to fill in what spots. But when it comes down to region play, I know Coach Lane had that bunch ready to roll. Offense, he trusts his Coach Lane. Yeah, I think that's right. I think it's just, the first couple weeks figuring out how to get everybody fit in, how to share the football. And I think those guys will be ready to roll.
And they got the defense a lot better the last few years, too.
Jax Wilson leads that bunch. He's a great player there in the middle of that linebacker unit. Jessica says Camden. I love Tylen Drakeford. I like the Rimp kid stepping in there. Always a tough place to play down at Zemp Stadium as well, John.
You got the right coach, that's for sure.
Steven said Westside also added Wren quarterback Jacob Lewis, 6'1". That's a big DB, and that is certainly a good spot to have some height at that DB spot.
That'd be good for a potential South Point matchup.
South says watch out for Ford Wallace and Trace Hillian. I've heard some really good things about Trace Hillian at Hartsville. Ford obviously stepping into that quarterback spot. It's a tough offensive run, a lot of movement there, but I think he'll do a great job. And I think Trace complimenting Kyle Miller could be a huge piece for Coach Calabrese. Of course, North Augusta secondary suspect. Question the QB spot. You have to lose a guy like Corey Tillman, who's been a multi-year starter. Finding a new quarterback is always tough, but I like the talent around him. I think when you can turn around and hand it off to Doe 30 times a game, that certainly makes it a little bit easier to fill in that quarterback spot.
That is it for the comments, guys. We'll put a bow. Let me knock this one off the screen, but we'll put a bow on 4A here. I know Dion's really excited about Westside. He keeps saying there's only one 5-star in the state. You got to watch everybody. You can't just watch your team. I mean, just Joshua Dobson is one of the top 10 players in the country over at Catawba Ridge. We'll talk about him when we get to 5A.
It's the ultimate team game.
Yeah. Let's make some 4A picks here. Jerel, why are you hiding? We knew we were going with this, Jerel. What are you doing? Who wants to go first in 4A? This is a tough
I'll
one
go first.
Yeah.
It's tough, man.
I think South Point. South Point's my pick for Upper State. I think we knew they were really good last year. They ran to Westside. I picked South Point to win that game. They got beat by talent. There's more talent on the other side of the field. I don't think South Point's going to come into a game in 4A where they're going to have that situation where somebody has more talent than them. And I think they run the table in 4A Upper State. I think they win the state championship. Lower State, I'm looking at Hartsville. I think Hartsville is going to be really, really good. I don't know if they're going to be better than they were last year, but I think you look at South Florence, North Augusta, Gray's going to be right there. I think Gray's going to be Gray could be the lower state contender there. But I think the drop off from Hartsville is very, very small. I like Hartsville in the lower state.
I'll put a bow on it and be boring. I think we go with the favorites here, man. I think South Point and South Florence. I mean, that's just what I'm going to go with. I'm going to be. I hate, I don't like to be boring like that. I like to just throw some picks out there. But that's who I think's gonna go.
Like, I've been trying to debate this for a while. Like, I feel like my worry for South Point is I feel like we've talked this same story the last 3 or 4 years. Like, so much talent, so many key players. How can they not win it all? And then something happens and they don't win it all. Is this year they get over the hump?
Yeah, West Side's happened.
Yeah, last year they ran to more talent. That's what happened.
That's what happened. West Side has been a monster. That's what's happened.
Yeah. But they've had talented groups before, but have not gotten to that level since Coach Holloman has left. Coach Collins, I think, is ready to make a deep run this year. I like the fact they got the quarterback back. Cam McMillan's a stud. I think that's a big piece there. That gives them the slight edge for me right now. On the lower state side, it gets really intriguing for me there. I like that South Florence bunch. Like I mentioned, to beat them, they're not going to beat themselves. Like, you've got to go out and beat them, and it takes a lot to do that because they're so big and physical. They're a tough group to follow. I like what North Augusta does. I like Hartsville, of course. I don't want to say it. I feel like that might be a dumb pick. I'm looking hard at another team in that region that's not Hartsville or South Florence. But I just don't know if I can make myself make that pick.
Say it.
Do it.
Already come this far.
I like the Knights. I like the Crestwood Knights a lot.
Ooh,
I like it a lot.
I like it.
I haven't made the pick. I have not made the pick, but I like Crestwood a lot.
Okay.
I already tweeted it.
It's out there.
Just give me South Point, South Florence. I'll be boring too. I'll just take the 1-2 for right now.
Yeah, it's boring, but yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot of time to change our picks. A lot of season left to go.
And Chris, I'm never afraid to make a pick. I make a fool of myself all the time. That is not something I'm afraid of. But good to see you in here. It's good to see you in here, Cam. Cam's finally in the chat.
Appreciate you, Cam. Any other comments, Jerel, before we shout out friends of the program?
Yeah.
Perfect. He just cuts himself off. It's whatever, just. Braley says 4A, Daniel, or South Point.
I think both of them are going to have a
Chris
say.
says West Side, Hartsville. That'd be a fun game for sure.
That would be a lot of fun, Chris.
Andrew says South Point play this year. It may have a lot of talent. South Point is all the way. Yeah, South Point, they're loaded, man. They got a lot of good pieces there. Your boy says Bear Woods era is now. It is, man. People have watched Cutter sling it for a while, and then now they get 4 years of Bear Woods slinging the football. So enjoy that.
Pressure.
He can spin it.
Pressure.
He can spin it. Come on, Kev. I'm all over the place, man. I don't know what I'm doing.
Hey, tell him. I agree.
I'm all over the place.
All right, let's put a bow on 4A because we still got to get a 5, and we're approaching an hour of talking. So let's keep rolling, guys.
Oh, perfect. Let's shout out some friends of the program then. Let's do that right quick.
Preferred Home Services.
Schedule your sewer drain clearing with Preferred Home Services today. If we can't clear it, it's free.
Electrical, plumbing, cooling too.
Go, 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 Preferred.
Everyday life means everyday expenses. Spend smarter with a Founders Federal Credit Union credit card, offering you low rates and big rewards where it matters most. Enjoy all the benefits of saving while using your Founders Essential MasterCard. Make every swipe and tap count with smart rates, big rewards on select cards, and no balance transfer or annual fees. Because your money should go where you want it to. That's the power of Founders Federal Credit Union. Apply today at foundersfcu.com. Relax. You're with Founders.
As always, guys, if you're just now joining us, you can go back and watch 3A and 4A. Once we get finished, it'll be on our Facebook page and our YouTube page. And last night's show, 1A, 2A Skiza, is also on there. You can watch all of that. But, John, let's take a look at 5A, the receiving votes, and then 10 through 1. I guess we'll just, the poll, they didn't break it out, Division 1, Division 2. So we'll just roll through it all, talk to the teams. We'll make 2 different state title picks, one for Division 1, one for Division 2, and kind of go that route.
Yes, so receiving votes, not in the top 10. We got White Knoll, Hillcrest, J.L. Mann, River Bluff, West Florence, Dorman, Berkeley, James Island, Catawba Ridge, Clover, Nation Ford, and Boylan Springs. When we look at the top 10, we've got a tie at 10 between the Ridgeview Blazers and Burns. At 9, we've got TL Hanna. 8 is Sumter. 7 Greenwood. 6 Spartanburg. 5 Irmo. 4 Northwestern. They get 1 first place vote. 3 is Gaffney. 2 Somerville. And number 1, to no surprise, with 16 first place votes, Dutch Fork.
I still don't understand why they can't just break this poll out in Division I, Division II. Like when we start doing our polls, guys, we're going to do that in a few weeks. We'll break it out and have a top 5 for each. But starts and ends with Dutch Fork. I mean, what is it? 7 out of 8, 3 in a row, I believe, state titles now. Coach Knott's bunch is always tough. He says this might be one of the best groups he's got or he's had. His son, Jackson Knott steps in at quarterback. You got Cole Martin, Stone Furry out wide, Braden Johnson. Offensive lineman Brody Lorenzo, just a sophomore, started last year as a freshman at the center spot. He's a monster in the middle for them, kind of, really runs that offensive line. Defensive line, maybe the best in the state. Julian Walker, Michigan commit, along with Jaden Worth, a transfer in as well up front. They're really good up front. Riley Salters at linebacker, Mario Anderson at DB. They're loaded again, John, ready for another deep run.
Yeah, they are. It's a complete of a team as you can get. And they always have guys that are going to college, playing big time football at the next level. It seems, you could say Antonio Williams the last few years has been the biggest breakout guy, but it's not just one guy. They play, I just said, football is the ultimate team game, and nobody does it better than Dutch Fork.
Number 2, Somerville, last year's lower state champs, led by running back Javen Williams and receiver Jaden Kelly Murray. His nickname that Jerel loves, the Landlord. He's a great player for them. 1,400-plus yards, 14 touchdowns last season. Also out wide is Taru Davis. They do have a quarterback battle going on. Cooper Kafina, if you guys watched the state title game last year, Jaden Cummings got hurt. Kafina stepped in, played really good football for Coach Rafferty's bunch. They have him battling out against Max Stafford to transfer into the program. Not sure where they're going to go yet for the Green Wave. Number 3, Gaffney, a perennial contender. Quarterback Javon Gilmore, Arkansas commit, is back again. Had a huge year last year in year 1 for him with Gaffney. Running back Jaden McDowell, he is healthy, ready for a big senior season. Offensive lineman Scotland Dover, the App State commit. You got Zion Ratchford at linebacker. He's getting a lot of offers lately. Zion Dawkins at DB. You do have 2 new coordinators. Brad Van Horn comes over from South Point to coach the offense. Ian Myers comes over from Myers Park in North Carolina to coach the defense. Gaffney and Somerville, John, 2 contenders year in, year out, it feels like.
Yeah, for sure. They've got the right guys in the right places. They've got some experience as well. They've got great coaching staff. They've got the pedigree. They've got the history. They've got everything. They've got all the ingredients to be a very successful team this year.
Number 4, Northwestern, last year's Division II state champ. They lost some pieces. You lose a Finley Polk. You lose a Zymir Gordon-Miles who moves on. You lose some defensive pieces up front. But you bring a lot back. Receiver Cameron Vance, one of my favorite players in the state, just an electric playmaker out wide for them along with Jonathan Spurgeon. Xavier Mean steps in at quarterback for them. He's a big-time playmaker. Running backs Mobley and Smith. And you return your entire offensive line. So when you're replacing your quarterback, John, bringing back all 5 linemen helps a lot. Defensively led by Tamarian Watkins, one of the best players around. Texas A&M commit that is there on the defensive side for Coach Walford's Trojans bunch. The team they played in that title game, Irmo, comes in number 5. Amir White back at running back. Malik Miller out wide. Offensive lineman Nate Carson. Defensive line, also one of the best in the state, comparable to Dutch Fork. You get Jaden Bryant and Major Taylor. They are working 2 quarterbacks as well, Dre Dobson and Britton Davis. Coach Brand said he's going to play them both. We'll see if he does it all year long. I don't know, but Irmo poised for a big run as well.
Yeah, another team that's got a lot of talent, but I've got more questions about Irmo than others because, AJ Brand and Donovan Murph, boy, those were 2 of the best players in the state. And that's really tough to replace there.
Yeah, Spartanburg, 3-year starter at quarterback Trey Burke, running back Trenton Lynch as well, ready to go for Coach Hodge there. Kicker, I do want to mention a kicker. We have not mentioned many specialists here in this program, John, but Will Love at Spartanburg, a VT commit. He's a weapon there for the Vikings. Wanted to shout him out. Number 7, Greenwood, Tristan Lewis, the quarterback, a South Carolina commit, is a DB, really athletic. he's got one of the biggest highlights going around right now of him just running through a kid last week at a scrimmage. So that's getting really popular. A lot of 17 starters back in total for Coach Liner's bunch. Greenwood's a program that's poised to make some noise. And then Sumter at 8. They're always a contender. Ty Mary's Durant on the defensive side. Franklin Richardson running that quarterback spot again. The Gamecocks are always tough. We know that.
Oh yeah, for sure. They play it's hard to find a group that plays more physical than Sumter.
Yeah. The 9 and 10 spots, TL Hanna, Coach Tone's offense is always tough to prepare for. You get Walker Kelly, Jamirian Oliver there for that group. And the tie at 10th, Ridgeview quarterback Trey Howard. A lot of speed, a lot of weapons with Jordan Best, Jordan Mack, Carter Coleman, Christian Jackson, all playing receiver for them. They've got a lot of speed there. And then Burns, a team that's really intriguing to me. Last year, John played all their games on the road. They get to open up Nixon Field, the rebuilt Nixon Field this year. Quarterback Kane Rogers, running backs Trey Segura and Jacoby Fuller. You got Chew Harris out wide. Defensively, Justice Hopkins, John Montgomery. They could be a much improved and a really talented bunch. You got to remember that Segura missed a lot of time last year with an injury. If they get a full year of him and Fuller in the backfield, they will be a tough out for anyone.
Yeah, if they can stay healthy, Burns will be a team to watch. I'm just worried about and maybe it was the playing on the road every game last year. I'm worried about the consistency of the Rebels.
Yeah, certainly it was an interesting year for them. I mean, a tough year having to do that, but we'll see what happens this year with them back in more of a normal schedule. But outside of the top 10, John, who are some teams you want to shout out that maybe didn't quite make it?
Yeah, I think White Knoll is a team you look at. I think JL Mann's another team that you look at. Two teams that played pretty good football. JM played great football last year. I think they've got a lot of talent there. They'll be one to watch. I'm kind of surprised they were not in the top 10. White Knoll is becoming a program where they're consistently good. And then, I feel like James Island, we must give them more love than anybody else. James Island, I don't know who they lost, who's coming back, but I can tell you this. They're probably going to play some really good defense this year, and they're going to be in a lot of ball games.
That's what they do. Exactly right. Coach McCoy's bunch there, they always play hard-nosed football. A couple teams I want to shout out. Dorman, Contavious Anderson, the Clemson commit at safety. He's back. Running back Nick Means, quarterback Demetrius Slidell. I think they're in for a nice season for Coach Morris there. Then two teams in the lower state. Ashley Ridge. You got an interim head coach this year. Ashley Haskins coming in for Coach Tate being kind of suspended there. But you get Trevor Kalick at quarterback back, 3,600 yards, 32 touchdowns. Ryan Campbell comes over from Fort D, an explosive running back. You get Cody Peterson up front. They've got a lot of talent there. And then Berkeley, Coach Lodge, year 3. Henry Rivers, a 3-year starter, just a junior. He's super athletic, super good player for them. A couple nice pieces out wide for them. Zion Britt up front leads that bunch. I think Berkeley and Ashley Ridge are two teams in the lower state to keep an eye on.
I like that.
You mentioned Hillcrest in the receiving votes. Jackson Free, talked to him a couple weeks ago. He's a super talented young man. I think him and Nye Allen and Josh Smith are going to do some good things for Coach Swigert there. A couple beach teams I want to shout out. Carolina Forest, Jaron Fox is back. 1,700-plus yards, 21 touchdowns last year for Coach Morris. Myrtle Beach is an intriguing team to me, John. I think they are poised for a nice season this year. They've got some pieces back with Michael Cohen, Antonio Brown. Need the quarterback to figure it out. They had two guys that are working, Tanner Gaddy and one other kid. See how that shakes out for them, but they're a team to watch as well. Any other teams you want to shout out in 5A? Stratford Knights. Yeah, that's a team I had written down too. Jake and Davis. Pretty athletic quarterback there. You get Malik McGowan, a stud running back, comes over from Goose Creek. They're really good. Got a good tight end, a good defense. I think that Stratford-Berkeley matchup, that's going to be for the region title there, Region 7. They're a fun team to follow. Anybody else, John, Jerel, y'all want to shout out in 5A? I've got a couple more, but let's see if you guys had anybody else you want to talk about as well.
That covers it for me.
One that I don't know if you mentioned Riverside. Did we talk about Riverside?
We have not yet. The quarterback is back.
I show love to Greenville County. Got to show my schools there some love. Like you said, you mentioned Gideon Merritt was so good for them last year. Speedy Taylor coming back off injury.
Samad Edie, the Wake Forest.
Samad Edie. Yeah, man. I think Riverside, the Warriors might make some noise. I don't think they're state title contenders, but they play really good football.
Yeah, Westwood, you're one for Coach Stephen Burris. You get quarterback Carrington Carter back, running back Angelo Rios, one of our players of the week at one point last year. He's back. Cam Cunningham is back, along with athlete Jaden Boyd, the Duke commit, a transfer into the program from Fairfield Central. Excited to see that speedster there for Westwood. And then, John, you mentioned this team earlier. Let's see what we'll get here. Let's go to David's question first. Yeah, can Perry Parks match his Ridgeview success at River Bluff with that tough slate? Anyone who can hang with the Demons this year, sleeper pick. I mean, River Bluff, I think, is going to be much better. Yet the running back, Hayden Myers, is back. He was a tough son of a gun last year. I think with him, they were so run-heavy last year. They won 10 games for Coach Harden. They're going to spread it out a little bit this year. I think that's going to help out Hayden, get him going a little bit more because the quarterback, I believe, Braden Coleman, Jerel and John? Is that his name? Braden Moore, excuse me. He's back as well. You get Darius Carter out wide. River Bluff, I expect them to contend pretty quickly with Coach Parks there at the head man for the Gators.
Yeah, I really like the way that Gator program is run. I think they are very well coached, and they're just in a tough situation. They're in one of those really, really tough regions. They're a good team. They're a really good program.
Yeah, like I said, they won 10 games last year. Only losses were, I think, to Dutch Fork twice and then Irmo once. Nothing wrong with that. I think they're going to be even better with Coach Parks for the next couple of years. You mentioned this team, John, in the let me say this first, Jerel. You mentioned this team in the receiving votes, John. Nation Ford, new head coach Jake Bentley, a familiar name to a lot of folks across the state. Obviously, Bobby's son played quarterback at South Carolina. He is a guy who I think is going to turn that program into something pretty quickly. I don't know if this year is the year for them to make some big noise, but one thing about the Bentleys is they like to win, and they want to win. I think he's going to find a good system. He's going to get his players in there. I think Nation Ford is a team to keep an eye on the next couple of years with Coach Bentley at the helm.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of work to do there because they had correct me if I'm wrong, they had a very good quarterback last year.
I have to remember. I don't remember. I know they lost a good receiver. I'm not sure if the quarterback was there last year or not.
Okay. I think there's a lot of work to do at Nation Ford. And there is. I went to Clemson. I'll reserve my judgment as much as I can, but I think there is a name can take you so far. I got to see it. I got to see it. And Jake may be an awesome coach, but I want to see it first.
Yeah, I get it.
But it could be done. It could be done. We'll see.
Well, let's go back to the comments, Jerel. Sorry I cut you off there a second ago. I think somebody's asking about Greenville. They're an interesting program. Year one for Coach Watson. I know they're hurting a little bit on the depth numbers this year. We'll see what happens there for them. But you mentioned the basketball player. Yeah, Franklin Whitley, basketball player, state champ last year, 6'6", I think he is, maybe 6'7". Comes out for football, John, this summer, goes to camps, picks up a Georgia offer, has not played a down yet. So, yeah, that tells you all you need to know about that guy. Super athletic, going to play a lot of edge DN for Coach Watson's bunch. He'll be a fun guy to follow as he gets his feet wet in high school football. Brandon says, well, Sumter mentioned, they were number 7, I think it was, number 8, excuse me. Always a tough, hard-nosed physical bunch there for Coach Mark Barnes. Hillcrest and Dorm are going to struggle this year. I think Hillcrest is really young. A lot of pieces that they're still kind of growing. Dorman, I don't know what to make of them. I think they could be solid. They played really good at the end of last year. It felt like we're kind of coming around. But we'll see what the quarterback can bring to that group there. Nakia says
Dorman's got a lot of work to do, I think.
Yeah, Northwestern for the repeat, they say, first repeat in school history. A lot of talent still there for them. No doubt about it. They can certainly do it. What about Fort Dorchester? They're a program that lost some transfers, Bradley, year 2 for Coach Lorenzano. I haven't heard a whole lot about them, really. So I don't think they're going to be a state title contender this season, doesn't feel like. Manzi says the Irmo wide receiver core surprised people. I love Malik Miller. Not familiar with a lot of the other guys yet, but I think they do have some weapons. They always do out there. Going to be fun to watch them. Lewis is legit. Don't be shocked if Greenwood makes some noise. Yes, the Lewis kid can play. No doubt about it. He's a super freak athlete. I think Greenwood's 17 starters back. It's a team to keep an eye on.
Greenwood made a lot of noise last year, and nobody expected him to.
If 5A wasn't split, however, run like 2021, says Bradley. Let's go Irmo. I think they're going to be really good. I'm interested to see how that quarterback situation plays out, Delvin, but they've got a lot of talent there again for Coach Brand. Anybody else, Jerel?
I think that's gonna be it for the comments, unless I got something new populated. But
Perfect. I feel like
I
we
think
skipped a lot of teams, but there's just, I mean, it's hard to talk about all
Did-
50 teams or whatever it is, you know.
did we do Carolina Forest? Did we talk about
I mentioned
them?
Jared
Yeah,
Fox. He's back.
Okay,
from Wake Forest.
okay.
Yeah, he is back. A new quarterback though. See how that shakes out. But love the Fox kid running the football.
For sure. Yeah, let's go ahead and I guess it's time. Cam's telling us that he's in Puerto Rico watching, ready for tailgating this year. We are
Oh,
too, Cam.
wow.
Appreciate
that
you,
sounds
Cam. Yeah, hey,
nice.
Moving the Chains is worldwide. You know, we go everywhere. So
They're
And we
taking
must have
over
missed that
that.
invite.
like Pitbull.
I love that. I love that. Oh yeah, let's give our 5A predictions. Do you guys want to do 5A Division 1 first, Division 2 first? What do y'all want to do? Brandon mentions Sequel Patterson at Indiana. Yeah, SC commit, a freak athlete. We saw him a couple years ago. Drowning in the playoffs. Really electric kid. Really smooth with the football in his hands.
Yeah, reclassed. So he's going to be a senior this year. Should be fun.
Let's do 5A. Let's do Division 1 first. I'll go ahead and pick first. I'll go Dutch Fork out of the Upper State. Surprise, how that's going to shake out there. Going out on a limb. And honestly, I think I kind of think we're going Dutch Fork Somerville again. I think we're going to see a repeat. A lot of talent back at both of those teams this year.
I think so too. I agree with that. I'll go a step back further since we're a little bit chalk here. I think Somerville is going to come out of there, but I think that James Island game, if they meet up with James Island, I think that's going to be their toughest test in the lower state.
Okay, John. Yeah, I'm going favorites again. Rematch. Dutch Fork, Somerville. Dutch Fork, I saw an interview with Coach Knotts the other day. He was actually pleased with his team during camp, saying that they could be one of the best teams that he's ever come through there. So that is scary for everyone involved, because typically he is not so friendly, especially this early in the year. So that's terrifying for the rest of 5A and Division 1.
I think their defense is going to be really good.
Yeah, that's the tough part. Somerville, man, I just love that offense. Like you said, you mentioned the landlord. That's my guy. He's one of the best players. Obviously, got to figure out the quarterback situation there. But once they do, I mean, because that's the adage. You have two quarterbacks, you don't have one. So you got to pick a guy. And my story. I want to see what Burns does. New stadium, going to play some
really
home
intrigued
games.
by that group.
Nixon Field looks great. They got so much talent. I mean, Coach Shaw has done a great job of rallying the troops, and they've played some really, really good defense the last few years. If they can get that offense rolling, I think they could be a scary team. Yeah,
as we look down into Division 2, the quarterback situation at Irmo intrigues me a lot. I don't know what's going to happen there. I've seen some highlights from the scrimmages, jamborees. Both the kids look good. So I don't know if at some point this is who we're going with. I don't know. But I think Irmo is going to be good again. Division 2 is a tough one for me. I love Gaffney. I really like Northwestern again too. I think both those teams are going to be really, really good this year. Lower State, it feels like it's probably Irmo again. Outside of Irmo, maybe you get a Berkeley team that shows up and makes some big noise in the playoffs. I don't know. Who do you guys like in Division 2?
I like Northwestern a lot. I think they're going to have to go through Gaffney at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Northwestern's the best team in Division 2 5A. I think they're going to meet White Knoll in Orangeburg.
Whoa.
I think White Knoll is going to come out of the lower state.
John, just dropping bombs here.
The guys for Coach Cullum. Okay.
No, I think Gaffney's. Go ahead, John. Sorry.
I would say I don't think White Knoll got enough love because they struggled a little bit at the beginning of the year last year. But when it mattered, they played some ball and they played some good defense. And they got beat by a really, really good Irmo team. I think Irmo people will say that was one of the better teams that Irmo's had in a long time. And that's a program that has got a lot of football history.
Yeah.
White Knoll is, I think, a lot better than what people want to give them credit for.
Yeah. Got to find a quarterback to replace Sharp, but I think they've got some pieces for sure. Jerel, who do you want in Division 2?
I think Gaffney's the favorite this year. I think it flips back. I really like what Gaffney. Somebody mentioned the quarterback situation there as well. I mean, you have the transfer. Is it Banks Boughton? Is he coming in from?
Played some receiver I saw the other day in a scrimmage.
that's a good backup to have. Obviously, Javon Gilmore is going to be the starter, Arkansas commit. He's just played really good football. I mean, this is 4th year starting as a quarterback. Of course, we all like Northwestern. It's a great program, and it's good to see them kind of break through and win the state title last year. But again, I think it's the usual hitters. I like Greenwood a lot. We saw them at Westside a couple years ago. That was kind of like the coming out for Tristan Lewis for us. I mean, they went head to head with Cutter Woods and that team, on the road. We were soaked, but that was a fantastic football game. I think it was a pass interference call that kind of separated that one. But yeah, some really good teams. I guess I'll go circle back to kind of put a bow on it. Berkeley. I like Berkeley. I think it's time. Coach Lodge got his system in place. Really love Henry Rivers, man. I think he takes that step. Give me Berkeley. Go like the Stags.
I like that pick. Upper State. I'm going to go Gaffney. And I think part of it for me is I think year one for Coach Donnie Littlejohn. I think maybe that's kind of a good thing. Get some new blood in the program. Get a new OC. Brad Van Horn comes in. You get the new DC as well. I think that might kind of spark this group. I think the Indians, I like them out of the Upper State. Lower State, I don't really know because I like this Irmo bunch a lot. I don't know where you look really outside of that, Harley. So I'm going to go Gaffney Irmo for the state title.
Nice.
Yeah. A couple teams we didn't mention yet, Jerel, in 5A. Catawba Ridge, you mentioned Joshua Dobson, a junior. What is he, top 5, top player, or top 10 player in the country right now? I think a DB.
Legit 5-star. Yeah, like top 10 player in the country.
Big-time player there. We didn't mention West Florence, new head coach, state title-winning coach Chad Wilkes takes over there for Jody Generette. What could he do in year one? I think they're probably a year or two away, honestly, the Knights are. But
give him a couple years.
I think he will turn them around. And also, we didn't mention the Lugoff Elgin Demons. I know David mentioned them, but John, the boys – a nice season last year. How you feel about the Demons this year?
They made it to the playoffs. They won a couple games, but we're going to find out a lot about Lugoff Elgin very early when they play Camden.
Yeah,
that's the barometer. I know they like the talent that they've got down there, and I think they've got some pieces. But I just the flux in 2 head coaches in 2 years. I don't know. That's a big question mark for me.
Yeah, and we didn't mention it. Coach Leon Boulware goes from Lugoff Elgin back to his alma mater at Rock Hill. Interesting to see what he can do this year, year one for him. I know they lost some pieces as well. Caden Watkins, some other guys gone. The quarterback, I believe, Grissom graduate. I think Knupp is back, so we'll see what he's got year one there. But excited for him to get to go home and be this Bearcat program. Armani says don't sleep on Clover this year. Coach Woolbright, I think year 3 for him. And he got some good talent there. Brody playing the quarterback spot. I think they're going to be a good bunch there for sure up in Clover. Northwestern Irmo rematch, says Ricky. Certainly could be the case. Would not surprise me one bit. 2 teams with a lot of talent again this year. One of the best games that that we have seen in person. Will be fun to see again. Need a Somerville hat. We do need a Somerville hat. Yeah, hook us up.
Yeah, I would love a Somerville hat.
Shoot us a DM. We'll make it happen. We'll get it set up. When is Dutch Fork coming to Gaffney? I don't know. I don't think it's on the schedule this year, is it? I don't believe. Yeah, I don't think that's.
You got to tell us.
Yeah, don't think that's happening this year. Maybe next year when we get back to 1-5A, they might be able to make it happen in the playoffs.
And John has been revoked. He got his pass revoked from the reservation. Kevin, we are good there. So.
Oh man, how did I get revoked? What happened?
Your picks.
Oh.
Any other?
I've been in a reservation more than anybody else on this screen.
Old and new, ain't that right, John?
Any other 5A teams you guys want to shout out before we move on?
I think we got most of them covered. I think they're mentioning a jamboree or something. Maybe Dutch Fork Gaffney here. We'll see what happens.
Well, perfect. Well, let's shout out some more friends of the program, and then we will kind of wrap up for the night.
Founders Federal Credit Union means banking made for you. The on the go, the pick up and go, and the I want to go. Because at Founders, we give you the financial tools that make every dollar work for you. For the little things to the big things. For your future and your peace of mind. We'll always stay grounded in our roots, but reaching beyond what you'd expect is where we'll always go. Find out what our members already know and enjoy a new way to bank. Relax, you're with Founders.
Another fantastic show tonight, John. If you guys missed any of it, you can go back and watch it. We talked through 3A, 4A, and 5A tonight. It'll be on our Facebook and our YouTube pages once we get finished here. Go back and watch last night's show as well with 1A, 2A, and SCSA. A lot of great content, John. I can't wait for our Week 0 preview show next Tuesday night about 7:15 as well. Once again on Facebook and YouTube. Feel free to join us for that. We'd love to have you engaging with us. I was taking a look last night at the Week 0 matchups. We've got some big-time football games coming up, so it'll be a lot of fun to talk through some of those. As always, follow us on Facebook, Twitter/X, Instagram, YouTube, and more at Movin Chains. That's MOVINCHAINS. MovinChains.com is our website and our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. Like the comment says there, get your Movin The Chains merch. We've got some great stuff. We've got some T-shirts, a black T-shirt, a gray T-shirt, navy blue, and also pink. Order your T-shirt today. Order your hoodie today. We got gray T-shirts. Gray hoodies. We got white hoodies. Get one of those. Some great hats, Richardson hats. These aren't the only designs we got. We got other designs too. They're on our Facebook page. You can message us on there. You can DM us on there. Order yours or get your stickers today too. Moving the Chain sticker. Support the boys. Put it on your water bottle, your laptop, your car, or whatever. Get you a sticker. Support us. Support the program. Help us make it better and better. John, Jerel, any final thoughts here as we get ready to wrap up our last preview show for 1A through 5A and SCSA? Bradley, yes, we will do the pick'em. That will probably go out Monday morning. I think we'll first post that on social media. We'll also send out emails to the folks who were part of it last year. We'll have that going as well. But yeah, John, Jerel, final thoughts as we get ready to wrap up. We got a couple more jamborees, tomorrow and Saturday. Then we got football that counts next week.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait. I'll be honest. This is one of the first years I'm not really interested in the jamborees. I'm ready for because it's so close to the season. I'm just ready for the season. I'm ready for Week 0.
Hey, talking season's over, man. It's time to get it done. I'm so excited, man. As always, off season goes faster and faster each year. The season goes by faster, but I'm excited to see him hit the grass. And this is kind of like our last little hurdle before we get into it until we make that stretch run to Orangeburg. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Get that Week 0 preview show next week. Make sure you tell a friend to tune in. Follow all the socials, especially YouTube. That's the one we're trying to grow the most, and definitely TikTok. We'll be eating some hot dogs this year.
Man, I'm ready for the hot dog.
Can't wait for that food review. I'm sure we've got a lot more viewers tonight than we have had over the summer and other stuff. But guys, if you missed any of our off-season stuff, go check that out too. Jerel and I had a lot of interviews with probably 20 new coaches. Lots of good stuff out there. Maybe it's not your team, but a team that you're going to play. Go check them out. Go watch that. Go see that. I've got a bunch of short form coach and team previews coming out now as well. Go watch those on all of our platforms. Support us. We hope you guys will go watch it and enjoy the content. And then, like we said, we'll be back next Tuesday for another preview show. But it's been a lot of fun, guys. I really enjoyed tonight and last night too.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
been great.
Yeah. It's good stuff, man. But yeah, go check those interviews out. People are going to probably stop doing it. We had Jake Bentley on as well. So John was talking about him. So we'll see what he does when he catches us in the Wachovia parking lot. So, but go check out those interviews for us.
I'll be warming up the car.
Oh man. But yeah, once again, guys, if you missed last night or tonight's show, it'll be on Facebook. It'll be on YouTube. Go back and watch that. Can't wait for next Tuesday, our Week 0 preview show. But Moving the Chains is always brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. For Jerel Hendricks and John Epps, I'm Kevin Thomas. This has been our week, not even a week show. It's been our preview show for season for 3A, 4A, and 5A season preview show here on Moving the Chains. Appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to you next week.
Get ready for the ultimate South Carolina high school football experience with Movin The Chains. From previews to recaps, we've got you covered. Dive into our expert preview shows, predicting winners and sharing insights. Then join us post-game for the thrilling recaps, exclusive interviews, and highlights you won't find anywhere else. Plus, connect with fellow fans on our Friday night spaces on Twitter/X. No one covers South Carolina high school football like us. Join us at Movin Chains on all social media platforms and visit movinchains.com today.